Hi guys, this is an intensive language course again. In today's lesson, we are going to talk about cultural immersion in language learning and addressing challenges in intensive language teaching. And so, as usual, we are going to begin our work with defining the main words and the terminologies related to today's topic. So let's find out about what is cultural immersion itself first. So cultural immersion refers to the process of deeply engaging with and experiencing a different culture in a way that allows individuals to better understand and appreciate its customs, traditions, language, food, values, and daily life. So this can happen through travel, living in a new country, or interacting with people from different cultural backgrounds. So it was just a general description about the immersion of cultural immersion. What about the cultural immersion refers to the language learning process? Let's find out about it also. So cultural immersion is a method that focuses on fully integrating both the language and the culture you are learning. So it goes beyond a textbook and grammar exercise, aiming to provide an authentic, hands-on experience that makes the learning process feel more natural and engaging. When you're immersed in a language and culture, you get the chance to see how language works in real-life situations, understand cultural context, and learn the nuances that classroom setting might not cover. Usually in the general classes or at school, our textbooks are covered or presented the several types of texts that is related to different kind of topics. However, these topics are not enough to open or to be familiar with the culture that is the learning language. So usually tasks and related to the listening or writing or reading tasks is just created based on that text, and it usually limits the students to find out lots of information that relates to related to the culture. Yes, it is definitely true. It can be a little bit introducing topic or introducing lesson for the students who are learning a second language. However, it is not enough to gain enough knowledge. So why cultural immersion matters in that case in the language learning process? So we have several reasons why and let's find out about why it matters. So the first reason, it accelerates fluency through contextual use. So immersion enables learners to practice language in authentic real-life situations. For example, ordering food or navigating public transport or participating in local traditions. So this contextualized learning accelerates fluency and helps internalize idioms, slangs, and cultural reference that textbook often overlook. So in the textbook, as I mentioned above, usually textbook presents the learners the words that is related to the informal context. However, whenever immersing in the cultural context, you can find out the informal ways or the formal ways of the words and learn how to use them, especially idioms and slangs and changs that can be very helpful to improve your speaking skill. So the first reason why, as we told about above, it is accelerates fluency through contextual use. So the next reason can be a deeper cultural understanding. So many people may learn a lot of second language like French, English, Arabic, or Japan. However, they may have the difficulties or many obstacles whenever they are having conversation with the native speakers or local residents, because they don't know their culture. So language intertwined with culture. Immersion helps learners grasp the social norms, values, and customs that shape communication. So knowing the social norms and values helps you to show yourself as a respectful person or knowledgeable person. For example, let in this point take an example, the Arabic nations or the Arabic women's greeting. greeting ways. So in the European countries, it is normal that the European woman can greet with the other people with just handshaking or with the kissing. However, in the Arabic countries, it is usually forbidden for the women. So if you are going to learn an Arabic language, and when you visit to the Arabic countries and gonna have the greeting in your own ways, it may restrict the social norms. So with this way, not to have such kind of conflicts or uncomfortable situation, you have to also be aware of the social norms. So for example, understanding the Japanese concept of the omotenashi, it is in English it can be a hospitality, or the significance of the bowing in East Asian cultures adds deepest to language comprehension. So the sort rhythm can be enhanced cognitive and academic benefits. So you know how much you will learn, your cognitive ability and your thinking overlooking system can be upgraded too, because it helps you to think flexibly, and it helps you to adapt any kind of situations. So immersive language learning has been linked to improved cognitive flexibility, problem-solving skills, and academic performance. So children in an immersive program often exhibit stronger cognitive ability and enhanced academic outcomes. So there were conducted many researches that related to the cognitive ability of the students and the language learners, and it was identified by the scientists that the children who are immersive programs often have the stronger cognitive ability and enhanced academic outcomes. So the first reason can be a development of intercultural competence. So the learning, being a skilled language user, also one of the people's can be considered a people's competence. So engaging with a new culture fosters empathy and open-mindedness. Learners become more adaptable and navigate cultural nuances, and leading to more effective and respectful communication. So just imagine there are lots of people throughout the world, and the one side of the world people who lives in the different kind of situation, and the another side of the world people may live in another kind of situation, but two people may have the same kind of interest, or they have the interest to find out the similarities and the difficulties and the differences of their lifestyle. And the learning about each other can increase their critical thinking and helps them to be an empathetic people or open-minded person. So the fifth reason can be a personal growth and confidence. Whenever, if you have ever observed people who has gained a greater status in the the society, you may be aware of that they have the greater knowledge, they have the enough knowledge that is related to any kind of topics. They are always ready to talk or to justify what you have said in any kind of selected topics. So immersion challenges learners to step out of their comfort zone. In this point, promoting resilience, adaptability, and self-confidence can be increased. This experience often leads to the profound personal development and broader worldview. So by the learning, just immersion and the language learning process is not just gaining the knowledge about the language. However, it is the one way to have the broader personality, a profound and developed personality, and gaining a wider reputation in the society. So let's talk about now real-world immersion strategies. We have many immersion strategies, and let's find out and discuss about them one by one. So the first one can be participation in language immersion programs. So we have lots of programs in TV, in real life situations. However, we all may not have the ability, or we have the financial problems to participate in that kind of situations. But whenever we'll have a chance to go or to participate in that kind of situation, it can be a very helpful tool to learn, to find out that information to you. So engaging in structured immersion program allows learners to practice the language intensively while experiencing the cultural firsthand. For example, a week-long Spanish immersion experience in Cerezo de Arriba, Spain, involved intensive language practice with native speakers, cultural visits to nearby towns, and engaging with local residents, resulting in significant language improvement and deeper cultural understanding. So, that you are spending about a week in Spanish people. Just imagine you are learning not English language but the Spanish language. So you are spending your 1 week among Spanish people, and from the if you calculate just 24 hours, you will have many contacts to converse with the local residents. Then at least it is certain that you will activate about 100 vocabulary that you have or that you already have, and in 1 week you will automatize your speaking skill, and you'll pronounce like a native, you'll produce like a native speaker. So next step can be engage in a daily life activities. So immersing yourself in everyday activities like shopping at local markets, or using public transport, or attending community events provides practical language practice and cultural insights. This experience helps learners understand idiomatic expressions, social norms, and local customs. So, in the real life condition, in many contexts, different kind of languages can be used. So, terminologies also can be differ from topic to topic. So, practicing or being in the different kind of situations, or experiencing different kind of situations, and using the language related to that situations can also increase your self-esteem and activates your many topic-related vocabularies. So living with the host family is also a great and fun way to immerse the language condition. So staying with a host family offers continuous exposure to the language and culture, facilitating natural language acquisition and a deeper understanding of daily life, traditions, and social dynamics. One of the advantages of staying at the host family is that you will always find answer whatever what kind of question you will exist in the what time. It doesn't matter. So let me give you one real life example from my life. So it is related to the social norms and being in the host family. So whenever I was studying at the Lyceum, I had a teacher who lived in London about 10 years, and he shared his life experience with us. And whenever he was trying to mention why cultural learning or learning about the culture is important. So one day when he was going to London, taking a flight to London, it was his first day at the host family, and Uzbek family has a tradition like every time repeatedly offers the guests to take or to taste a meal whenever they are gathering at the table. However, in English countries, they have no such kind of habit, let's say tradition, and the host family member asked my teacher to taste the meal. However, being an Uzbek people, he had some kind of shyness and didn't test, and waited the family members to offer the second time. But unfortunately, they didn't offer to taste the meal second time, and whenever they have finished it, they just took the plate and threw it to the rubbish bin. That day, my teacher stayed in the hunger. So the next day he learned that in the English atmosphere, in the English-speaking countries, they just offer first time. They don't like the English Uzbek people who offers to taste the meal again and again. So this is the differences between cultural context, and whenever you have a cultural immersion, you will find out lots of that kind of situation, and it also avoids you to have such kind of unpleasant situations. So engaging in cultural activities is also very crucial in order to immerse to the language learning context, because whenever you are in the cultural engaging in the cultural activities, you will meet many people that is usually they came from in different backgrounds, and by having a conversation with them, you will find out a lot of things, and even you will use your vocabulary a lot. So, and even you feel like that you are the part of that language and the part of the native residents. Attending cultural events and festivals are also one of the reasons of the cultural immersion. So, what way of the cultural immersion? So, participating in the local festivals, holidays, or cultural celebrations provides context for language use and appreciation for cultural tradition. For instance, joining in a celebrating like Three Kings Day in Spain or Thanksgiving in the USA can enrich your cultural experience. So, as we mentioned above, students may not always have a financial trouble or the lack of money. So that's why they don't have the chance to go to the that country that you are learning their language. That's why we'll try to share with you several techniques that can be at home, and we usually call them digital and at-home immersion techniques. So the first one is consume authentic media. So in order to find out the authentic media, you will just turn on your TV and then remove the channels that is spoken in the target language. So the second one can be a participation in a virtual exchange. So it's a well-known and widespread way that every people in that society nowadays cannot live without wireless system. I mean the Wi-Fi, or without an internet and without gadgets. So with the gadgets and the TVs and the special programs, it is too easy to find out the exchanging programs or the channels that is suitable to exchange your language or to converse with somebody. So this can be a great way to participate virtual exchanges. So the third one can be utilize language learning apps with cultural content. So we have many apps that is related to the that can help increase our language. So it can be a Elsa Talk or Tap Talk or something like that. You can find it through from your mobile store or Google store, and easily upload it and can utilize it in order to increase your language level. And the first step can be set your device to the target language. I have observed many of my students, and they all turn their language into English and switch their English language in their mobile phone. Addressing to your mobile phone very frequently, at least you will memorize about 100 words that can be used in the language context or device context. And the fifth point can be explore virtual reality language learning. And let's share tips for maximizing cultural immersion with you. And so the first tip can be be open and curious. Whenever you are open and curious to learn, you will accept everything. So approach new cultural experiences with an open mind and a willingness to learn. So practical active learning. So pay attention to how native speakers use the language in different contexts to understand nuances and cultural reference. So if you have paid attention to the different kind of aspects of the language. You may, whenever you are observing a native speaker, it can be a pronunciation, it can be an intonation, it can be a movement of their mouth. So all of them can help you to produce or to generate native live speech. So reflect on cultural differences. Consider how cultural norms and values influence language use and the communication style. So when it comes to that point, I have to mention that in the English-speaking countries, English persons usually have the habit, like firstly they'll, in order to describe something, they have great amount of information related to the topic and describes enough and then moves to the main point. But when it comes to the German people, they usually just moves to their point and don't give any kind of description related to the topic. So engaging constantly is also a very crucial aspect of the cultural immersion. So regular interaction with the language and culture reinforces learning and builds confidence. Then especially I ask you seeking feedback after producing any kind of language. So don't hesitate to ask native speakers for correction or explanation to improve your understanding. So in some kind of contexts, whenever they use a new kind of word and if we don't understand the meaning or the usage of the word, just don't hesitate and ask the native speaker to explain or to give the definition or to teach you the usage way of that word. So by asking them, you can improve your knowledge again. So what do you think? What are the common challenges in intensive language courses? So if you notice that we have already talked about our first topic, and now we are going to move to the common challenges in intensive language courses. So the students have many challenges, even if it's not an intensive language course. Even the general course it has also many difficulties, especially related to the speaking skill. But let's find out about not general courses now, but the intensive language course. The first challenge can be a cognitive overload. The rapid pace and dense content of the intensive course can overwhelm learners, leading to the fatigue and reduced retention. This overload can hinder the transfer of information from short-term to long-term. So the next challenge can be a motivation and burnout. Whenever students have the long sessions, usually, as you know, intensive language course continues lots of hours, like 4 hours, or from the morning till the afternoon, or from the morning till the evening. Courses can be exist in intensive courses, and it usually causes burnout and decreased motivation. So sustaining motivation over the duration of an intensive course can be difficult. So the demanding schedule may lead to burnout, affecting learners' engagement and performance. So anxiety and confidence issues may also happen in that kind of course. So learners may experience heightened anxiety, practicality in speaking activities, which can negatively impact participation and confidence. This anxiety can lead to avoid behaviors and hinder language acquisitions. So limited time for practice. So we have mentioned above, usually intensive courses takes long hour class sessions, but besides the class sessions, the students are required to practice out of the class. So the condensed nature of the intensive course often leaves insufficient time for practice and reinforcement, which are crucial for learning mastery. Without adequate practice, learners may struggle to retain and apply new language skills. So cultural and linguistic barriers also may happen. Learners from diverse backgrounds may face additional challenges, such as unfamiliar with cultural context or language structure, which can impede comprehension and communication. So whenever you are selecting a topic to your lesson, I highly advise you firstly to do needs analysis among your students, then select the appropriate topic to your students. cultural background in their living context. So let's share now strategies to mitigate challenges. The balanced curriculum can help the teacher to mitigate the challenges. So incorporate a mix of activities that balance input like listening and reading, or with output speaking and writing, to prevent overload and promote use of the language. In my point of view, listening and the speaking, or listening and the writing, reading and speaking, or reading and writing can match each other very well, because one of them is the receptive skill, the second one is the productive skill. By listening, students may receive any kind of information, and by speaking and writing they may produce. So in the first part, and the productive skills, students are usually can be a passive participant, but when it comes to the productive skill, they become an active. So this can be a mix of the activities. So regular assessment also very crucial. So implement frequent low-stake assessment. It should not be a high-stake assessment, to monitor progress and provide feedback. Helping learners to stay motivated identifies areas for improvement. In our previous lesson, we have talked about how to give feedbacks and the types of feedbacks, right? So I highly advise you to use those 5 types of feedback appropriately in your lessons. Then supportive environment is also very crucial. In order to create supportive environment, build rapport from the first day of your students. So encourage a non-judgment atmosphere. Do not allow any of your students to judge over another one. Then promote peer support. Then celebrate small wins. If your students do something well, just celebrate them with the applause of the other students. Then create safe speaking opportunities. As I have mentioned from my lesson, at the beginning of my lesson, speaking still stays the most challengeable skill of all the second language learners. By creating safe speaking environment, you can help them to avoid anxiety and feel more comfort zone. So cultural integration. The last point can be a cultural integration. Use authentic materials in your lessons. Bring a real-life resources from the target culture. To exposure students to natural language using cultural immersion. So incorporate cultural role plays and scenarios. Designing activities where students act out culturally specific situations. Ordering food at a local cafe, or meeting someone for the first time. Formal or informal language can be used. So discuss cultural topics, like have students explore and discuss customs, traditions, or superstitions, or holidays, and how they are celebrated, social rules or values, and daily routines. Next point can be a flexible schedule. So alternate between heavy and light days. Just calculate your topics. If one day you are teaching heavy topics, that heavy topics can be difficult or obstacle topic to understand for the students. But the next day you have to select the lighter topic, and you call that day light day. And include regular breaks period. So maybe you are teaching 2 hours, give breaks about 5 or 10 minutes every 2 hours. Or after 4 hours, you have to give breaks like half an hour to have a rest, or just to concentrate on. So offer optional review or drop in super sessions. Now that is the challenges related to the intensive course. Now let's look at the teachers' challenges who are teaching in intensive course. The first challenge can be a time pressure and pacing. So covering a large amount of material in a short time while ensuring students actually absorb and practice it. So why it is difficult? Some students need more time for certain topics, but the schedule might not allow for it. The teacher has to balance quality with speed. The next challenge can be a cognitive overload. So, noting when students are overwhelmed and adjusted the lesson accordingly. And in intensive sessions, it is easy for learners to get mentally fatigued, but the tight program leaves little room to slow down or revise. Handling mixed abilities. So dealing with students who learn at different speeds and have different language backgrounds or period knowledge also difficult. So in intensive courses, disparities can become more obvious. Some students progress quickly while others struggle to keep it up. Limited time for individual support. So in any kind of sessions, it doesn't matter it is intensive course or general course, everybody seeks the individual support. However, because of the time load, it is usually limited. So providing personal feedback and the attention to every learner is very important. Fast-pacing lesson leave limited time for one-on-one sessions, but intensive learners often need extra help to keep it up. Managing language anxiety in students. Helping nervous or anxiety students who are afraid to speak or make mistakes. Their quick pace can raise student anxiety levels, making them hesitant to participate, which slow their progress even more. Whenever students are relaxed, they are more open to receive the information that you are given. So adapting materials quickly. So needing to adjust lesson or add extra activities on the spot when students struggle or finish tasks faster than is expected. The intensity of the program often means limited prepare time, and teachers must be flexible, creative, and responsive during the assessment. So, if you have noticed that we have talked and discussed over 2 topics today, and it was all the information that's related to today's topic. Thank you for your attention, and do not forget to follow us on the social media.